This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Eloise Phillips, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Monday, January 12th. President Lai Ching-te says Taiwan's medical tech will join other Taiwanese powerhouse industries. Aligned interests with the United States are the best security guarantee, says the foreign minister. And scholars say that China lacks the capability to replicate the US-Venezuela strike on Taiwan. But first, today's top story. President Lai Ching-te stated that Taiwan's medical technology sector will soon join its formidable semiconductor and ICT industries to continue building the pillars of national strength. Lai spoke at the opening ceremony of the 19th Nobel Health Care Forum on Sunday, January 11th. The president pointed out that before entering politics, he was a clinician and has never forgotten his responsibility as a member of the medical community. Upon taking office, he established the Healthy Taiwan Promotion Committee, bringing together the medical, technological and social sectors to promote the health industry. He noted that while the average life expectancy in Taiwan has exceeded 80 years, the number of unhealthy years, time that is spent in a wheelchair or requiring care, remains at 8.4. The government's goal is to ensure that Taiwanese people live both longer and healthier. To this end, the 5-year Healthy Taiwan Cultivation Plan, launched in 2025, will employ a budget of 48.9 billion NT dollars, around 1.5 billion US dollars, to cover talent development, improvement of the medical environment, smart healthcare, social responsibility, and healthcare sustainability. Under the plan, 197 smart healthcare-related projects were approved last year, aimed at improving clinical processes and enhancing the efficiency and quality of healthcare services. President Lai stated in an interview that
the
semiconductor, ICT, or general technology industries are supporting and shielding Taiwan. This isn't about any single company, it's an ecosystem, a protective network. I believe the next sector with similar potential is the combination of healthcare and technology, a powerful alliance.
Lai also pointed out the government's promotion of industrial development through legislation, including revising the Act for the Development of Biotech and Pharmaceutical Industry in 2021, and enacting regenerative medicine-related legislation in 2024. These updates will include regenerative medicine, precision medicine, and digital and smart healthcare in incentive programs, providing support measures such as investment, R&D, and talent retention. Foreign Minister Lin Jialong said that Taiwan must align its interests with those of the United States and the America First policy, stating that aligned interests are the greatest guarantee of security. Lin's remarks come as the world wrestles with the recent US military arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and Trump's embrace of the so-called Don Road Doctrine. On Sunday, the foreign minister was asked in a televised interview for his thoughts about the impact of US activity in Central and South America, both in Venezuela and in Trump's support for Honduran President-elect Nasrius Furro. Lin emphasized that Trump wants to establish authority despite China's expanding regional influence in recent years. The geopolitical landscape of Central and South America has shifted due to multiple factors, he said, including the effects of Trump's Don Road Doctrine, a general rightward political shift, and the negative effects of China's Belt and Road Initiative. He said several countries have even begun comparing China and Taiwan's overseas policy, especially the Wrong Bang program, though he clarified that Taiwan does not engage in confrontational monetary diplomacy. Instead, Taiwan leverages industrial advantages to help friendly countries' modernization efforts. Lin said that by leveraging the US-China rivalry, Taiwan can demonstrate its indispensable role as a partner and collaborator in joint ventures in third countries with similar ideologies. He underscored that aligned interests are the greatest guarantee of security for Taiwan. In this way, Lin said that Taiwan must become a fellow shareholder of national interests, not simply a buyer. He added that he believes Taiwan must utilize the America First policy to make itself indispensable, which aligns with the strategic vision behind Taiwan's economic diplomacy and the Wrong Bang program. The foreign minister pointed out that in December, the Trump administration released a new national security strategy, which not only emphasized the importance of the Western Hemisphere, but also identified Taiwan alongside Japan and South Korea within the First Island Chain Theater of Operations. The US additionally put out statements of concern over China's effort to unilaterally alter the status quo after the late December PLA military drills. Therefore, he said that Taiwan isn't alone but must cooperate with others.
Taiwan scholars say China lacks the ability to replicate the U.S. military operation that captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, dismissing online speculation that Beijing might attempt a similar strike against Taiwan. Cognitive warfare expert and Zhongyuan Christian University adjunct associate professor Liu Wenbing categorically rejected the idea that today's Venezuela could be tomorrow's Taiwan. Liu said that China simply does not possess the capability to execute the kind of precise decapitation operation the U.S. demonstrated. He noted the U.S. deployed 150 aircraft in coordinated waves during the Venezuelan operation, a level of precision currently unmatched globally. Liu said cross-strait relations cannot be equated with U.S.-Venezuelan relations. International incidents each have their own independence and particularity. He suggested that China itself should be concerned if the U.S. launched a similar operation against China, could Beijing defend against it? New School for Democracy Standing Director Zhen Jianyuan agreed, emphasizing that the military gap across the strait is not as vast as that between the U.S. and Venezuela. Zhen said Taiwan's national defense and air defense systems are robust. If China wants to conduct a decapitation operation against Taiwan, it would have to think very carefully. Taiwan is not entirely in a passive defensive position. Taiwan also has retaliatory capabilities. Zhen argued that regime preservation remains Beijing's primary objective. He said China would not risk losing its regime just to launch a surprise attack on Taiwan. Instead, it will continue to create cross-strait tensions to consolidate its domestic ruling authority and maximize political benefits. Both scholars emphasized Taiwan should focus on maintaining sufficient defensive capabilities rather than following panic narratives online. Joey Chow for RTI News.
Rescue teams have detected signals from the flight data recorder, or black box, of the F-16V fighter jet that disappeared over the sea last week. Defence Minister Wellington Koo said Monday that although it has been detected, teams won't be able to locate the box until sea conditions improve. On Tuesday, January 6th, an Air Force F-16V fighter jet and its pilot, Captain Sin Po-yi, disappeared during a nighttime training mission. Although Sin reported that he was losing altitude and preparing to eject, no ejection confirmation was received, and teams have been searching for the pilot and the aircraft since. Koo thanked all members of the search and rescue teams, including the Coast Guard and members of the National Armed Forces, for their effort and persistence. So far, search teams from all sectors have dispatched a total of 124 sortie vessels, 16 drones, and over 1,200 personnel since the aircraft disappeared last Tuesday to search the coast from Hualien to Taidong. As for the signal, Koo clarified that the military has been receiving intermittent signals from the box, but due to poor ocean conditions, further confirmation and a specialized team will be needed to find the exact location.
We need to conduct further verification. However, due to extremely poor sea conditions, vessels cannot depart from port. So we must wait for conditions to improve before leaving to confirm the location of the black box.
The defence minister said that further meetings on how to proceed would be held after the exact location of the box was determined, and that any progress in search and rescue efforts would be reported to the public. Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Eloise Phillips. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.
Cash for everyone. The government is giving out 10,000 NT dollars. It's easy to claim. Choose direct deposit, ATM, or post office. Check details at the official website 10,000.gov.tw or 10000.gov.tw or call the free hotline at 1988. Stay alert. Don't trust unknown sources. This advertisement is brought to you by the Ministry of Finance.